Hello everybody, I want now to walk you through the source code of the other demo that we have. So we're going to start with the folders, and what we have is folder for configuration, data, database, modules. We have node modules. Of course, I'm going to delete this folder because it contains just packages. Please don't forget, when you download the source code, open your cmd inside the folder and type npm install, which will restore them. I'm going to deploy it without these modules just to have less source and to not be so big as file memory. After that, I have providers, app.ts, wogger.ts, and the normal tsconfig.json and tslint.json. Let's begin with config. So this is the file where I'm exporting some constants that are required inside my application. The first one is the connection string, and the next one is load_db path, where I'm providing the path to db.json. Inside data, I have several files. I have base.dateTS. Here I'm exporting the interface and I'm making a wrapper of how I'm using the database. So I have file data with several methods for add, get all, get by ID, search, remove, and update. I have books.data.ts. What I'm doing here is I'm exporting a class books.dbData which implements iData from book. Keep in mind that this thing is generic. Here I'm initially inside it, I'm initializing my database, having a constructor to initialize it, and I'm overriding two methods: add, receiving a book, where I'm saying this.db.collection from this name, insert one, and then return the object. And I have get all, where I'm getting all books from the database. I have dynamic.vocal.data. Here what I'm doing, I'm implementing iData, and again I have the private fields for db and type, which I initialize inside the constructor. What I'm doing here is I have add method, which is receiving object from t. So this is generic version of books data, which is working with different types. Then I'm saying this.db.get from this.type, .push, .value, and resolve it. I have the same for the rest of the methods here. I have also dynamic.mongoose.db.data.ts. What I'm doing here is I'm overriding again iData, actually implementing iData methods: add, get all, get by ID, search, remove, and update. Here is again dynamic mongoose.data. So this is with Mongoose, how I'm dealing with all these things with the same methods. And what else I have is walks.data.ts. Here I'm accessing walks table, walks collection, and I support add and get all methods. I have also walks vocal data with add and get all. What I have inside DB, well, that's just a JSON with my current database that I'm going to use. What are the models that I have? I have alter model with first name and last name, base model which has only ID, I have books model which has title and genres, and keep in mind that book and let's say author and all other models are extending base model. So instead of having ID here, I'm just make it in one place, and after that I access it from everywhere. I have book review, which is extending again the base model, where I have book, review text, rating, and author. And I have as well my walk method. Inside models, I have folder with Mongoose, where I'm defining book Mongoose model. Here I'm creating the schema with genres and title, and I'm saying schema.statics.toBook is equal to return new book with title and genres. I have also from book, and here I'm adding my model book, and I'm saying constant book model equals mongoose.model from book. I have some parts to book, and I'm receiving a document, and what I'm returning is a book, and after that I export it. Inside providers, I have base provider, data.mongoose provider, vocal data, and MongoDB data provider. Inside my base provider is the interface for iProvider. After that, I have data.mongoose provider, which implements iProvider. Here what I'm saying? Well, basically the important thing is that I have method provide, which is creating and returning new instance of dynamic Mongoose DB data. I have vocal storage, which is returning a new instance of dynamic vocal data, and MongoDB data provider, which is returning basically the whole its point is to return new instance of dynamic MongoDB data. Let's now take a look at Wogger.ts. Here I'm exporting a class Wogger, which has two methods. The first one is to walk some message. Well, I'm receiving a string, and after that I'm creating new object, new instance of class walk with the message and the date. Then I say this.data.add the walk. This.data could be anything from iData, and that's the important thing. So it could be MongoDB with Mongoose or to some local. Then I have another method printWalks, which is saying this.data.getAll.then, and here I'm just printing all of them. So the general idea here, what I want to show you is that I have Wogger, which is working only with iData. Well, what is iData? Let me go back to it inside data. iData has, as we saw, just several methods. But the important thing here is that it has different implementations depending over what you want to use it. So you have for dynamic vocal data, you have for dynamic MongoDB data, dynamic Mongoose DB data, also Vox DB data, Vox vocal database, and books DB data. So that's making a much bigger abstraction, because when I want to use something, for example for Wogger, I'm using just iData. And you can see that I can use all of these implementations of iData to store it in different places in a different way. If I go to app.ts, what I have? First I'm calling dbconfig.init vocal db. After that, I'm saying when it's ready, I want to receive iProvider, and I'm saying provider.provide book from books, and then I say data.add, I'm adding a new book. Then I have dbconfig.init mongoose. Again here, I'm using iProvider, so here I'm saying constant books data from type idata from book. I would like you to provide me the book. Then I'm getting all, and when it's ready, I make for each on all of them and print them on the console. The last one is where I'm saying dbconfig.initialize MongoDB. Then I'm saying I would like to receive the provider and I would like to get the data for books. When I get it, I want to get all books. After that, I'm saying .then, after I receive all the books as book array, I'm printing on the console some strings, and I'm saying books.map, I would like to get only titles, and for each of them, I would like to console.walk the current title. So this is an overview of the source code. When you walk through it, you see it more within details. Already I'm mentioning, don't forget to type down npm install inside your cmd to restore all the packages, which I'm going to delete now, so you're not going to have any issues. And generally for you it will be good to review how it's structured with the base data, and you can follow these principles in your real-world applications and implement different implementations of your iData, depending in which case, where and how you would like to use it. Thank you very much for watching.